Hey everybody, Mountain Grandma here. Today I'm going to show you how you can use oregano to make 7 different medicinal products. These are not food items, but they are medicinal products. I guess, they could be food if you want them to. But I'm going to share with you how I made all of these things, what they are, what their benefits and uses are, and just talk about all the wonderful benefits of oregano. Stay tuned. Make sure you watch to the end. And if you enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Let's get started. So here is our oregano bed. And as you can see, this oregano is about, it's over a foot tall. I don't know, maybe 18 inches. I'm going to harvest some of this today. One thing I want to point out is you want to make sure you're growing your own oregano or you're purchasing it from a trusted supplier. This is our oregano patch. It grows very prolifically on the homestead. It jumps the garden beds. You want to harvest it when it looks nice and green like this. If you wait too long, then it's going to go to flower and it's going to look like this. And this isn't necessarily ideal, though it is still useful. And this is just one of our oregano garden beds. We do have another area on the property that doesn't get as much sun, and I have it growing over there too, because then, as you can see here, I have it nice and fresh. And while it's all fresh, it's nice to have it at different growing stages. And again, don't use the store-bought because sometimes that is not Oregano vulgare. It's Oreganum marjoram. In other words, it's marjoram at the store. So this is what you want. Now, let's get to making stuff.
3 thumbs up.
All right, the first thing I'm doing is harvesting, and I'm harvesting flowers here. I did not capture video of harvesting the leaves, but I just wanted to point out when you do harvest, I don't cut all the way down to the bottom, but I do cut when it's gone to flower. I cut a large portion of it, and I always leave some behind so it'll keep growing. And then once I get this all captured, I'll show you the next step. All right, the first thing we want to do is prepare all of our herbs. So we do that by washing them off, giving them a good rinse, and then we need to get them in the dehydrator or maybe set them out to dry. And while I was gathering oregano, I also grabbed a couple other things. Stay tuned for my echinacea video that's going to be coming out in the near future. And then once you have it all dried, you can remove those leaves from the stem and also your flowers. And you can do a leaf and flower combination if you'd like. It's really up to your personal preference. If I have dried flowers out there and I want to make use of them, that's what I do. All right, and here that is. All right, and the next thing that you're going to see me doing is making an oregano-infused oil. I love having this on hand. There are so many uses for it. And making this infused oil is really easy. We're going to fill up this jar here about, 3/4, half of the way. And then we're going to cover it with an organic virgin olive oil. And you see that here. So just a little bit about the oregano oil. I could do an entire video on oil. There's so much to say about it. Infused oregano oil is gentle but very effective. It's perfect for skin applications. Think like minor cuts, scrapes, bug bites. And I love it for its antifungal properties. Because it's infused, not an essential oil, it's safer for regular use while still delivering oregano's anti-microbial, antifungal, anti-inflammatory punch. It's vulnerary. It supports tissue repair. So it's just a wonderful oil. More about that in a little bit. All right, now what you see me doing is I'm taking all of these fresh, I let them set out a little bit. I rinsed them off with water, let them dry, but I didn't let them dry so much that they dried out. They just, got, a little wilty, which is what I want because I don't want them to have too much water content in them. I'm going to be infusing these in a vinegar. Now remember, these might be the flowers, not the leaves, but they still have that antimicrobial property. They're also astringent and they're a digestive stimulant. So oregano vinegar is such a powerful kitchen medicine. Internally, it supports digestion, appetite, and it helps to regulate your gut microbial balance. And also externally, it works as like a clarifying skin rinse for oily or acne prone skin. And that's because it's astringent and antimicrobial in nature. So it's a very versatile, shelf stable tonic. You could even use this in as an ingredient to make, like a salad dressing. It tastes wonderful. The flavor of the flowers is much more mellow than the leaves, which is why I'm using those. And I just love it for this. The vinegar that I'm going to be covering this with is a nice white vinegar, a white wine vinegar, and I'll show you what that looks like. But I just love this. And it also, wait till you see it a little later on in the video, when it infuses, it's just this beautiful pink color. So really nice. Love this. All right, let's go on to the next thing. All right, now this is what I have left. And these, I'm going to go ahead and let them sit out to dry. And I'll be using these in other ways. And I'll show you that in just a minute. All right, in this bowl, I have equal parts lavender and eucalyptus. And I'm going to add to that some of my dried oregano leaves and flowers. I'm going to add the same part. So 1 part of each of these, 1 part of this. If I had horsetail herb on hand right now, I'd throw that in here too, because of the great silica content that it has and the fact that it's just so good for your skin and your nails. And I'm trying to make this into an antifungal bath or foot soak. And because of that, that silica content in the horsetail would really benefit the nail by helping to bring all the other antifungal properties deep into that nail bed. But these will work great also along with oregano. So that's what we're going to do here. Now, in this bowl, I have a 1/4 cup of Epsom salt. And to this, I'm going to also add in about 10 drops of oil of oregano. You don't need any more than that. Oil of oregano is very strong. And I'm also going to add in 1 milliliter of tea tree oil. And we're just going to kind of spread that around everywhere. I'm going to go ahead and stir all of this together. And the only reason that I'm mixing these oils with the Epsom salt is because it's going to help to keep the oil in the water a little more better than it would if you just added it to the water, because otherwise what does oil do? It floats on top. So that's the goal for this. It'll still float some, but it'll help it. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead. I've got this bag right here that I'm going to use. I'm going to add the Epsom salt to this. I might be a little clumsy in doing this. You don't need to do this. If you're going to do the foot bath, you could also just add this straight into the bath water. But I'm trying to do this to have it prepared ahead of time. That's my goal. I'll probably make a larger serving so I can make a bunch of them in a minute. But see, this can just be dropped right into your foot soak tub. Now we're not done though, because you're not going to do this by itself. I'm going to go ahead and add in that equal part. There we go. And I'm just eyeballing it, which is fine. This is going to be added into your bath salt also. However, I like to make an infusion out of this and then add it to the bath water, because I feel like you get more of the qualities out of it. So I'm going to put this into a tea bag, and I don't need all of this. I've got enough for a couple bags, I think. Let's see. There's one right about there. I'll probably fill that up that much. Now listen, this is not tea. I'm putting it in a tea bag. It makes me a little nervous. So I'm going to do something here. See this? I'm gonna label this guy. All right, I want you to see how I've done this. Foot soak, do not drink. I would not want anybody to think this was a tea to drink with that eucalyptus in there. All right, now what I'm gonna do is put this in this bag here. And there we go. That's ready to go. It's got the tea, the herbs separate so that those can be infused like you would a tea, same way, and then added into your foot bath water. And then you've got your Epsom salt, and this bag can be put in there. Somebody could also, if they wanted to, drop this whole bag in there, put really hot water in there, and then wait until it cools enough to put their feet in. But I'm gonna do it like this, and then I've got this other bag. See, now I can put it in there just in case you get some powders from the Epsom salt that come out later. I can wrap a little thing around it, and I kind of have a little gift bag here. That's a great way to gift this. So that's how you do your antifungal. This 100% works. It works for athlete's foot. It works for toenail fungus. It isn't a one-time cures all. I would say, suggest to anybody who has a problem like that, to do it maybe a couple times a week and see how it works for you. Make sure you don't have allergies to this thing. You know, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you how to do things. Do your own research. But we've had great experience. This is a remedy we use in my family. So I know that it works for people. There we go. Now on to the next thing. Right now in this jar, I'm going to add in 1/3 cup of honey. And then I'm going to add in 1/3 cup of apple cider vinegar. All right, once you have your honey and your vinegar all mixed up, you're going to add your oregano next. Now you'll notice I did equal parts of each. 1/3 cup of vinegar, 1/3 cup of honey, 1/3 cup of oregano. But so that tells you you could modify this amount depending on the amount that you need and work with it that way. Once you've got it mixed up, you can see the consistency is really thin. We're going to go ahead and add in our oregano. We added in 1/3 cup of oregano. And there it is. You will let this sit for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then you'll strain off the Oxymel and discard the oregano. This tastes wonderful. It's a great way to take oregano. Great for supporting your immune health. It's anti-microbial, also expectorant, so helps to soothe coughs and just support overall immunity. And it's shelf stable. Okay, now on to our oils and salves. I ended up with about 12 ounces of infused oil. What you see in the jar is going to be put into dropper bottles. And then I'm taking 4 ounces to make salve with. Now the oil I like to use as an antiviral and immune booster in substitute of, say, like a tea or the Oxymel that I just shared previously. But oregano oil is noted to be an anti-parasitic also. And I have personally experienced that within my family. You do need to be careful about how many drops you take, though, and start out with like 5 to 10 drops. Again, do your own research. I am not diagnosing or intending to cure or tell anybody how to treat anything in this video. I'm just sharing what my family has used. Okay, on to the video. To this 4 ounces of infused oregano oil, I am going to add in 1 ounce of beeswax. And by the way, thank you to the Buying Space for sending me this beeswax. They're an awesome channel. Hope you guys go check them out. All right, so what we're going to do is add the beeswax in here and get this all melted so that we can get our salve going. Now I'm going to do this process on the stove top using a double boiler, but you could also use the microwave in short bursts if you prefer. All right. To this, once the beeswax melted, we're looking at about 2/3 of a cup or roughly 150 milliliters. I want to put in about 2.5% of all of these oils-ish. I'm adding peppermint, which is very cooling, tea tree oil, which is antifungal, antibacterial, and then also lavender, which is also antibacterial and calming as well. My intention for this salve is that it would be good in a first aid kit to treat minor cuts and wounds, bug bites, but also that it would be something that you could put on someone's foot if they had like any toenail fungus or athlete's foot or anything like that. Or honestly, I feel like it's just going to be a really nice foot cream anyways. So let's go ahead and get these essential oils added. I'm going to start with the peppermint. All right, I got about a milliliter of that in there. The tea tree oil, I'm going to use more of that. I'm going to put about 2 milliliters in there of that. And then I'm also going to add in a milliliter of the lavender. All right, now I'm going to get this stirred up really well. It smells wonderful. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and get my tins filled. I think this will be good for 3 of them, but we'll see. I might need another one. There we go. I'm going to let these sit and cool. Got a bubble on that. I'm going to let these sit and cool, and then I will be back with you. I do want to mention that my leftover oregano that had been infusing in the oil, I'm saving it. I really like a scrubby soap, and I also like a good like foot scrub for in the shower. And I'm thinking that I could make a salt and sugar scrub with some of this, and I could also infuse this into some soap, maybe like something kind of minty, or I like the smell of trees, like pine scents and stuff like that. If I did a soap like that, I could put this in there, and it's going to make that soap be kind of scrubby too, and I like a scrubby soap. So I'm going to save this, and you won't see those things in this video, but that's my intention for this. So stay tuned. I'll probably share that out in a video, or at least a picture in my community. All right, and last but not least, I'm taking these dried flowers and I'm keeping them separate from the leaves so that I can use them to make an herbal tea. I love an oregano herbal tea made from the flowers. I really prefer that over the leaves, though I could tolerate the leaves also. I just find that the flowers have a much more pleasant flavor. And they're great to drink. A great flower of, oregano herbal tea is great to drink during the cold and flu season. It helps treat your lungs, ease any coughs, or boost your immune system to prevent you from getting them in the first place. It's also soothing to sore throats, and it's a great supporter of digestive health. It's a carminative, meaning that it helps to calm any gas and bloating, and it stimulates your circulation. So as a circulatory stimulant, if you are anybody who has stagnant circulation, you feel like you often get the hiccups or belching or any like gas, or even if you feel like your circulation's slow in terms of experiencing edema late in the afternoon or anything like that, I find that these are the people that this kind of tea is great for. And that's why I like to drink it. So I thought I would share that with you also. It's just a great, cozy tea. And it's not quite as strong as the leaves. It's not as pungent in flavor, but it's still effective. All right. And that is everything. I hope you all enjoyed this video and enjoyed watching me make all these things. And I hope it encourages you to grow oregano and see what you can harvest from that and make with that yourself. If you want me to do a video on the salt and sugar scrub using oregano and the soap, leave me a comment down below after you watch this video. And I hope you consider to like, subscribe, and share out this video. It really helps my channel when you do that. Thank you all so much for watching. And until I see you next time, remember everybody, keep your joy, folks.